Hi everybody, it's April. I just wanted to share a video on making your own cloud stencil. I know MFT has a new stencil design that they created. It's a four-sided stencil that has different shapes on each side, and what you would do is you would go in, lay it on your paper, ink blend off of the surface of your stencil, and then you would turn and go this way. You would turn another turn, and basically utilizing all four sides of the stencil design they made, you come up with a very quick design for your background that gives you the look of clouds in the sky. It's super fast using the larger stencil they created. It's a full surface to work off of, and that's why also the size of it makes it very easy and quick to make a background. So I was playing around with some different, cardstock, just cutting shapes, and then I found this in my stash, which is just like do-it-yourself laminating sheets, and you can get this anywhere. At Walmart, I think, is where I got that years ago. And so I just kind of went around and played with a variety of different things, seeing what would work. This is one of the ones I did working on making some waves. I thought, well, hey, if they do clouds, why can't we do some waves in the same concept? So, I just went ahead and just freehand cut this, and also this one I freehand cut, but then, I'm sorry, this one I freehand cut a little bit, but then I went and took some of my circle dies. I did some selective die cutting where I just took the edge of my plate so it would only cut this and not the whole circle out. So the way you would do that is you would just set your dies on here. So you would set your die on the end, and then at whatever, let me see, no, it was this way. So you would have your dies taped on here on the edges, and then if I'm inserting it into my Cuttlebug, I'm going to just bring it to the edge like this, making sure, the bottom part is here too. But whatever's on this side of, your plate, the end of your plate, isn't going to cut. So you can see here, it didn't cut down any further than that. If I had done it like this, it would have just cut the whole circle out of my paper. So just bring your, edge up, and then it's only going to cut what's above the plate this way. So I think you've probably seen plenty of tutorials on how to do selective die cutting. But if not, leave a comment below. I can share with you how I made it in more detail. I just was experimenting today, trying to see what I could do, and it took me a few times to really figure out what works, what doesn't. And this isn't still, it's not the best design, but I thought, it really gives you the look that you want, as far as a background. And then let's say you were to come in and put a character in there sitting on the cloud, then that works. You know what I'm saying? Like, then once you put the characters into the scene, it makes more sense. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, of course, that die from MFT is gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. I just thought, hey, for those of us who can't buy right now, or we don't have a credit card where we can buy online, I used to live in Florida, so I could actually drive to MFT if I wanted to purchase things, but most people don't live near the brick and mortar store, so you have to order MFT online. And again, I always try to think about people who can't purchase things online, so I just thought I would share because this is something that's so popular right now. But I also wanted to show you what the design of the waves came looking like when I did that. So here's the one that I made making the waves, and I thought that came out pretty good. You could do it either way, really. Just depends on what look you want, But so that's what I came up with. And again, I just took some cardstock. I used about 110-pound weight, and just using the dies, selective die cutting on here. I free edged this side. I didn't really feel like I needed four sides for the cloud, so I thought, let me just combine the two. So I freehand cut that. I went back and kind of mix of the dies and freehand this side with the cloud. Now, also another thing too is when you're, utilizing these kind of stencils, don't forget that you can flip it over. So you can still have 4 sides basically. You have this shape, and then I just turned it over and went over here to give me this side. Same thing with this side, went to the other side of the cloud, and you know, you can turn it like this, and then you can turn around and flip it back over, and so you really have 4 different angles, should I say. So that was what I came up with doing. The same thing with the waves, and this was just a scrap piece of paper that I worked with. Same thing with the waves. You know, you could come in here, use one side, flip it over, do another side, same thing. You know, so that way you can get a lot of different layers. And while I was looking through all my stash, trying to see what I had, what else I could do and make, I remembered that your typical stencil, you know, looks like this. This is what we're all used to, you know, using for stencil work. Now, Hero Arts made a kit, I think it was in February, and I was really impressed with that one because they gave you the part that cuts out on the inside. They actually gave that to you. So this is actually more of the concept of what that MFT stencil is about, whereas you have the surface of the actual stencil to work off of and rub your ink off. So I wanted to show you how this would work. Now, if you have or own any Clarity stencils, I'm pretty sure, if I remember, I used to watch Clarity all the time, and they give you the inside cut. So you get all of the stencil. You get the parts that had cut out, and you get the actual, you know, design of the cut. So if you have Stencity Clarity stencils from them, they always give you the inside part. And then these were the 2 that came in the Hero Arts kit. And I just wanted to show you how gorgeous that came out using the stencils from the Hero Art kit. So if you have the February kit, you might want to take a look at using these. And I'll show you real quick how to do it. Just to show you, it's just really fast and easy to do. I'm just going to use some Distress ink I have here. And I'm just going to tap a little bit on here and then go, let me zoom you down, that this gives you a much prettier actual cloud design. So I'm going to try not to get my hand in the way. Let me see if I can adjust some light so you're not getting a huge shadow. It's really late right now. I had to wait for everyone to go to bed because we have company in town. So one, I can't access the computer during the day, or it's too loud upstairs, so I apologize for the lighting in here. It's really dark, but anyhow, so I'm just going to take my ink and tap onto the stencil. So I'm putting the ink onto the plastic. I'm going to try with this one. It's really small, so you kind of have to be careful, but I'm just going to kind of slide that ink off of the stencil onto my paper. I probably should use some Bristol Smooth cardstock because the Distress ink works better on that type of surface. But just to give you a demonstration, I wanted to show you. So all I did was just kind of do circles, pushing it off the ink, and you're going to get that nice crisp impression of a cloud. And then coming over here, we're going to do the same thing. I'm just kind of getting it, working it onto the plastic, and then lightly pushing that out and forward off of the stencil. So you see now we're starting to get some development there. We could probably turn this one and see what we think about doing the other side. And I'm going to do the same thing. Just kind of coming around lightly, pushing the ink off of the stencil. So you see how we're starting to develop a scene here. Super pretty. And this is a really dark blue. I wouldn't use the Salty Ocean for this. You could use it for maybe doing your waves, but that gives you an idea what that's going to come out looking like. And I'm just being rushing right now, but take your time, go around your stencil, pushing the ink off of the stencil, and then that's going to give you that look of the billowing clouds. So pretty. So, having something like the MFT stencil is really nice because it's already really beautifully shaped, you know, and it looks like a cloud. I can't get that kind of perfect look to anything that I cut freehand. If you had some dies, like some larger cloud dies, I bet that would work great. I thought about it earlier about when I was doing the wave stencil. What I could do is I have some, let's see, what are they? Simon Says Stitch Landscape. So I have some of these border dies, and it gave me an idea for doing, you know, doing the edges of a wave, like a, you know, if I wanted to make my own stencil with the wave. So I could take, and it doesn't matter, you just want the clean cut. You know, you have the stitch side and you have the clean cut. This side's, you know, the clean line is going to cut. That one's just going to leave an impression. So don't worry about the stitch line. You just want the straight clean cut edge on your paper. Again, selective die cutting. So when you bring this down, what you would do is just take your plate. Now, I'm limited to what size stencil I could make because my Cuttlebug only goes, I think, like 5 inches across. But again, with where you're going to selectively place this, you know, with this one it doesn't really matter because you're not cutting a circle or anything like that. So you could really run this through like normal, but just to be safe, you know, you could just cut it like this. Or, I mean, really, to be honest with you, because you're not worried about anything, when you get done cutting this, you're going to have this whole entire shape on the edge of your stencil that you're going to make. Once you laminate it, it'll be a stencil. So that's the concept behind it, and, you know, really thinking about any shapes you might have. These are some other ones that would give us, this is more for doing a wave, but, you know, we're going to cut this, so it's going to come out with that nice line there. Again, the stitch line doesn't matter because that's going to be down here and it doesn't matter. So just think about dies that you have, you know. Yeah, so we have different shapes we can do. We have more of a wavy line. So if you have any edge dies, you could create an edge, you know. Again, I'm talking about doing a wave stencil, but if you had cloud dies, like larger ones, let's say this was a die, you could line this up on the edge of your paper and do the same thing. Just selective die cutting, bring your plate down to here, and then when it cuts your paper, it's going to give you that perfect, you know, cloud shape. I don't know if you can tell what I'm saying there, but you know what I mean? Like if you had larger cloud dies, I only have very small ones that came in the kit. I could probably try, but it's just going to give me really tiny bumps. I don't know, maybe I'll work on that another day, but you know, I thought about that too. So again, don't forget, if you have the kit or you have any stencils that came with the interior cuts, these are what you want. That's what we're trying to make. That's what we're trying to copy, inspired by the MFT stencil that they just made for the cloud die. Now, I just, again, playing around, decided to try making, you know, a wave stencil. I'm sorry, yeah, the stencils. Tried making the stencils for a wave too, you know. So the whole purpose of it is just to have a really quick way to lay down a background. What did I just do with the, I wanted to show you what this looks like with the character in it. So, you know, if you were to put, say, a mermaid in here, you know, it just gives you, once you do something like that and put a character into the image, then, you know, it looks better, because that's what you're, you know, trying to give the impression of an ocean background. Same thing with the clouds again. Either one. Once you put a character in there, then it really gives you that look of the, you know, nice, simple, fast background. So, okay, I just wanted to share that. I hope it all made sense. Again, just creating your own plastic stencil to work off of, having 4 sides, whatever shapes you like. You can use dies, you can hand cut it, whatever, use border dies, you know, anything to give you just a nice edging, to work your ink off of the stencil onto your paper, shift it, move it, flip it, you know, whatever you want to do. Just, you know, to have your own way to make something and use it at home with stuff that you have at home. Okay, take care. Hope you guys had a great weekend. All right, talk to you later. Bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Bye.